we're recording now.
Okay.
Just start whenever you're ready. We'll cut it in post.
Okay, and so the slides that looks like this for you or whoever are the dead slides.
Okay.
Hey everybody, so today we're going to go over some concepts with digestion, absorption, and the processing of our food. And we're going to start in the most obvious place, your mouth, right up here, where we chew our food, hopefully well. When we look at the mouth, there's really a lot of different things going on here. It's not just about your teeth. Of course, your teeth are very important. For those of you that are future dentists, we see how important good oral health is to eating your food, and eating good food is important to good oral health. And our journey starts here at the front of the mouth, follows down the, past the epiglottis, down the esophagus to what we'll talk about later, which is our first sphincter. Now, notice that there's lots of different things going on here. There's a lot more information here than I'm expecting any of you to know, but you can see how complex this is. And if you've ever had a sinus infection, you can get a little glimpse there of some of the parts of the body that are involved in that. But basically, the part that we want to look here for chewing and moving food is the palates, the hard and soft palate, the tongue, going past the epiglottis, and then as you look down at the esophagus, you should also see a part that closes the airway. So if you see the epiglottis there, right beside that we see the trachea, which goes down to your airway. And so we want to control movement through that. So let's see what happens in the mouth. And when we talk about digestion, we have the most obvious mechanical digestion, that's chewing your food, but we also have enzymatic digestion as well. So let's take a look right now just at the mouth. So what's happening here? So we have various enzymes, and let's think about what's happening in these enzymes. So the enzymes will be named for the mouth. We'll have lingual, lipase, and we can start learning our terminology right there. Lip clues us in that that's going to break down our lipids. Okay, so we see lipid digestion in the mouth. We say a very small percent, though. It's not the most digestion. That's going to happen much later. We also have salivary amylase. And although it might not be intuitive to you right now, AMY is going to correspond to things like amylopectin, which is your carbohydrates or your starch. And you can actually try a little experiment yourself to understand starch digestion. Take a small piece of bread and chew on it. And as you chew on it, don't swallow it, but notice the change in flavor. And what you'll find out is that flavors change over time and you start to taste sweet. And that's actually the breakdown of that carbohydrate. All right, so we see lingual lipase, salivary amylase. In addition to these two enzymes, we have fluid. Most basically, which is water to keep things moist, and that's part of your saliva. In addition to that, we have mucus layers for protection. Now, if you ever burned your tongue or your mouth and you've damaged some of that layer, you can see that that's a pretty important thing to have that protection. And we also have a lysozyme, and that lysozyme actually has the capacity to be like your immune system and protects against some bacteria in the mouth. Okay? So in addition to all of this, as I mentioned, we have the basics. We have the teeth that chew the food, and if we look here, the salivary glands are where our saliva will come from. The tongue is still going to be important if someone loses their tongue. That could happen to you, for example, with cancers of the tongue. Going to help move the food through. And what we're trying to do is go down here to the esophagus, where you'll swallow that food. Now, if you've ever heard someone say, oh no, it went down the wrong pipe, that might be that you swallowed a little bit toward your trachea to the lungs. What you want to keep that from happening is the benefit of the epiglottis. So if we look at nutrition anatomy, the epiglottis is important for closing that off. And I've shared a little extra video to show you a little bit about that action, so you can go check that out. So I don't know, Billy, if you want to actually cut or just keep going, that's up to you.